The prophecy has been fulfilled. The one to save us all. The promised one, the divine. Yes, brothers, I am talking about him, the Almighty One, the one and only Dragon Lord Gerald. What am I doing? Should Gerald be called Gerald or Gerald? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure you pronounce Gerald as Gerald, but I think everyone in the GS community pronounces Gerald's name as Gerald. So, you know what? I guess his name will forever be Gerald, or pronounced as Gerald. But Gerald, he was my first tank, and honestly my favorite tank in the game. He has no true weapon, so that's probably why he isn't as good as Thetis. If Gerald has a true weapon, or if Gerald gets a true weapon, he's gonna be the best tank in the game for sure. Thetis who? Miranda who? Yeah, that's what I thought. Gerald, he just needs his true weapon and he'll be good. It would be kind of interesting if Gerald got a physical true weapon instead of a defense one, like that acted more as the defense type of equip but was physical. That would be interesting. But regardless, this is the Gerald showcase, and this is actually my first time showcasing a unit who wasn't a damage dealer or a sub attacker or something. So yeah, I guess I'm moving out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I also want to show you guys something else too. I did not need to go to the summon page for this, but look at my crystal count. I have 909 crystals. Yes sir. I think the most I've ever had at one time was 500 crystals a few months ago, until I got shafted on a banner. No, I think I spent it on a KOB banner and got Vox. So yeah, that was epic W's. So yeah, whenever the Emperor comes out, you guys are gonna see a crazy summon video. As long as the Emperor doesn't come out for at least 2 months, then I think I'll be good. I think I'll have 1,500 crystals. But enough with the bragging about how many crystals I have. Let's move on to the showcase. And you know what I gotta do? We gotta go over this man Gerald. So let's just go into here and let's see. So his first passive, burn time reduction and burn evasion rate 50% up. Protection, never death allies damage from enemy 10% down. Sacrifice and resolution, survives its 1 HP only once. And HP auto recovery by 50% and arch gauge max when activated. And then his last, raid wall level 4, damage from raid boss 20% down. So you know these two this burn resistance it's okay. This protection is also okay, and also this raid wall kind of useless because I mean you need to be in raids for it to be working. But this sacrifice and resolution, where he revives himself he survives with 1 HP and recovers 50% of his HP and arch gauge max when this is activated, it's crazy. This I think is the main like gimmick behind Gerald, which is why I love him so much. But his skill reduces enemies attack by 20%, his arts increases all allies arch gauge by 10 and puts up a damage barrier of 8k, and then his true arts increases all allies arch gauge by 15, heals own status ailments, and puts up a damage barrier of 1500 for 20 seconds. So obviously his damage barrier, it's a lot worse than Thetis and Miranda. Miranda has almost like a 30,000% damage barrier, and Thetis, he has a 25,000 damage barrier. So Gerald, he's a lot worse in terms of just straight up his barrier. And if you look at someone like the tank I hate the most, let's actually go into the compendium for a second. Let's see, where is she at? Where is this girl, this trash tank at? Salia, there she is. I hate her. This is the only tank I have in JP, but she also has a barrier of 1500 and kind of does a little bit of what Gerald does, except she doesn't revive herself if she dies. Yeah, I really hate Salia. But the reason why I find Gerald so much better and why he's my favorite tank and one of my favorite units in GS is just because of this passive, Sacrifice and Resolution, and also just because his artwork looks sick. But his thoughts, he has a 5-star defense, 5-star physical, and 4-star magic. If he had another, like a 4-star defense, I think he'd be a lot better. But you know what? It's okay. I still love the main Gerald. Now, I think it's only right I showcase him in the place where he really helped me out a ton, and that is the Crest Palace. And I also threw on Fen because I haven't used Fen in a very long time. I've kind of been missing Fen a little bit. Put on the Forbidden Cheese. and go into the boss fight. You know, I would show off Gerald in a lot more places, a lot more stages if I could. Honestly, tanks in GS are really only used for some of the most difficult content in the game, and although the Crest Palace, it's lost its edge lately because of some of the new units just coming out and wiping out the floors, Gerald is definitely a very good tank to bring along in the Crest Palace. So yeah, really apart from this stage, I can't really show them off in the current events or anything, because you know, you just don't need a tank for everything for the majority of GS. But right now, I guess we'll just show off Gerald, and I guess the only way you could really know that a tank is good is if they're not taking any damage. So I kind of used True Adamus there at the worst timing. Also, what's really helping me out right here is having Fen and Juno on this team, because you know, they're providing so much Arshian for the main Gerald. Yeah, like I was saying, the way to know if a tank is decent is if your team isn't taking any damage, and so far, maybe it's just, like I said, because of the Arshian, but I think Gerald is doing very good right now. Very good. But then again, I don't even think you need a tank for this Crest Palace. Please, Gerald, you got this. Yeah, I don't really know where you're supposed to show off tanks at, honestly. Like, is there a better stage to show off tanks at? But yeah, so far my team hasn't been taking damage, and Gerald, he only took a little bit. I do have one of the best defense equips in the game, and 2 good Arshianers on this team, and also a very good attacker. But yeah, Gerald, he was very good. But let's see, might as well look at the details. So damage, Juno did a lot of damage, wow. And recovery, Gerald 0. Break, Gerald was up there with Vox. Yeah, that's really all I can show off with Gerald. There's not really much content you need a tank for. But my experience with the main Gerald, he, like I said, my first tank, he helped me out. The main problem with Gerald is that his damage barrier is pretty low. In fights like Aces, although Gerald is very good in that fight, it is sometimes annoying because Gerald, he'll die a lot if, you know, the team isn't working out perfectly. And in fights like Chloe just annihilates whatever tank you have in that fight. I guess what I'm trying to say is, although I love Gerald, and as much as I meme about him being the best tank in the game, he has fallen off. He doesn't have a super high damage barrier, and his slots could be a bit better. So yeah, he's just not that viable in today's day and age. But really, Miranda and Thetis, they just completely outclass him, which is sad to see. Honestly, I just think it'd be cool if Gerald got a buff and a true weapon, because he hasn't had a true weapon. And if they make it a physical true weapon that is actually a decent, like, defense-oriented physical equip, I think that'd be hella sick. GS really never buffs any old units because they're constantly working on new units, trying to get you to get new units. So yeah, it's unfortunate that the gacha system has really ruined Gerald and ruined his potential and what he could be in the future. But no, he has to stay mid. But you know, if you're running insane equips on him, you have a decent crest on him, he isn't bad. But you know what? Enough about getting down about Gerald. I think I'm gonna go into multiplayer and ask people what they think about Gerald, or have people come to me and see what they have to say about the man Gerald. And what am I doing? If people say Gerald is bad, I'm quitting GS forever. I'm never playing GS again. Man, waiting in a lobby is so boring. So boring. As long as we get one person and we see what they have to say, then yeah, then I'll be, oh, okay, so we got Kiwi. Let's see. Yes. Okay. And another person joined. So Kiwi, he's a really good tank. Yeah, he's pretty good. That's what Helgas says. What about you, Zero? I don't know the why can I not speak? I don't know the specifications though. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just say thanks and then leave and then dip. Thanks. Let's see. What do people have to say on Discord? Is Gerald a good tank? Is he a good tank? Let's see what people have to say on Discord. So on GS, they said he's good, but I mean, I think everyone knows that he's not top tier. Yeah, let's see what people say on Discord, because I know there's some very big brain people on the GS Discord. So yeah, who knows? And we got Tiny Dom Taco. typing. Outclassed by Miranda and Thetis, but he can still be used from some stages because of his unique revive passive. Yeah, that's pretty much like my opinion about him, or really what I was saying earlier about how I really like Gerald's gimmick and everything like that. He is outclassed by Miranda and Thetis just because of his damage barrier and because he doesn't have a true weapon. Where's Gerald's true weapon at? We need a rebel against Yama P and the people over at GS. If Gerald doesn't have his true weapon in 2023, there will be a rebellion so big that you will never forget. Grand Summoners, creators, whoever's running GS. If you're watching this, make a Gerald true weapon or else. Well, otherwise, to sum up what Gerald is, he's a fun tank, a good tank to use. Not a very good tank, but a decent tank to use. That has a cool revive gimmick, but he just gets outclassed by Miranda and Thetis because of his damage barrier being so low. Otherwise, he'd be amazing, and also he doesn't have a true weapon, so that's also a part of it. So yeah, he will always be my favorite tank, no matter what. No matter what happens, I'll ride with him forever. Ride or die. But that was the Gerald showcase. I got a few other people's input. I didn't really go into too much detail or anything. Other people didn't really go into too much detail. But that's the end of the video. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video. And peace.